This piece invites the listener to allow its sonorities to calm and relax. My name is Andrew Hannon. I'm a composer and composition professor at Appalachian State University in Boone, North Carolina. Migratory Meditations is a 9-minute composition for solo vibraphone. Over the next few minutes, I'll walk through some of its compositional features and give you some insights into my compositional process. Migratory Meditations was inspired by meditative labyrinths. It's supported by Appalachian State University's Quality Enhancement Plan. One of the goals of this project was to allow participants to experience stress relief through nature and music. Participants are encouraged to listen to this piece while they're walking a labyrinth or simply spending time outside. Labyrinths are distinct from mazes in that there are no dead ends and there's a single path in and a single path out from an open center. For many years, labyrinths have been used as places to reflect on spiritual or emotional thoughts. This piece takes inspiration from labyrinths in its musical material and its formal structure. The harmonic material unfolds slowly through arpeggiated chords. These chords also form the melodic content. The formal structure, inspired by the structure of labyrinths, has an open melodic section that is surrounded on either side by arpeggiated block chords. The listener is invited to slow their mind and reflect on the musical journey. There are a few things that inspired me about labyrinths when I wrote this piece. One is how the labyrinth allows space for people to reflect on their thoughts, and the other is how a labyrinth is quite flexible in its usage. This idea of creating space really finds its way into the piece in the opening section through the rhythmic structure. The opening section is a series of arpeggiated chords. The voice leading of these chords kind of meander through the entire section, similar to how a path of a labyrinth might meander through to the center. As the voice leading of these chords meander, the rhythmic structure is the same throughout this opening section and really continues on to the rest of the piece. In this opening section, there's always a chord that's followed by an empty measure. The measure of rest is either equal to or less than the measure with the chord. It is as if the measure with the chord presents a statement, and the following measure of rest is a literal rest. The metrical pattern that's set up in the opening section is then continued throughout the rest of the piece. There's a sense of flexibility within the structure of labyrinths. And there's no real instructions as to how to walk a labyrinth, and there's no real set ways in which one should walk a labyrinth. The arpeggiated chords in both the opening and closing section help represent that flexibility. While it's simply notated as an arpeggiated chord, I intend for the performer to interpret this chord as if it were a melody and play through it at varying rates of speed. I kind of think of it as the opposite of a Bach cello prelude. In Bach's music, we see a single melodic line that's actually trying to represent a chordal structure. In this piece, we have a chordal structure that's actually representing a melodic line. One of the methods of walking a labyrinth is to think about a problem or concern on the way into the labyrinth, leave that problem in the center, and walk out with a sense of renewal. I find this idea quite interesting. I use it to help me structure the overall form of the piece, as well as the harmonic development. The opening harmonies are often half-step relationships that are voiced in an open chord structure separated by octaves. As these dissonant harmonies develop, there's a sense of struggle or conflict in the harmonic content. As we move into the middle section, these chordal structures are removed and they're replaced by a 16th note flowing structure with a melody on top. The pitch collection is now changed to a white note diatonic collection. It is as if the conflict we see in the first section is removed and is replaced by a sense of renewal and openness. Finally, as we exit this metaphorical labyrinth, the music moves back into this arpeggiated chordal structure. However, the half-step collections that we see in the beginning is now removed, and we have a white note diatonic collection. Additionally, the voicing of these chords are more compact as opposed to the open structure we see in the beginning section. It is as if we're leaving the labyrinth with a new perspective on the same struggles and difficulties we experience in the opening section. You can find the full video performance as well as links to perusal and purchase scores in the description below. I would love it if you dropped a comment or asked a question about this piece or my compositional process. If you want more videos like this, subscribe so you stay up to date on the latest uploads. Please join with me in a conversation. I would really love to hear from you.